Welcome back to Momentous Struggle, a Star Wars Shatterpoint podcast. On this week's episode, I think we're just going to be talking all things Dathomirian and see kind of where we go with that. Because it's I was playing a Dathomirian list this past week, and it piqued Aubrey's interest, so I think he just kind of wants to talk some Dathomirians today. So we'll go ahead and jump on into it, as always, joined by Aubrey. How are you doing? Happy Father's Day, sir.
Happy Father's Day. May all of you get to cut off at least one of your children's limbs in honor of Star Wars at some point in your life.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, that's the real reason why there should be controversy over whether or not Rey should be considered a Skywalker. Not because, she was adopted by a Skywalker, but because she didn't lose a hand in the course of the 3 movies. Like, Disney had one job. Like, if she had lost her hand, none of the angry fans would have been angry fans for any other reason, right? Right, Todd?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, there's no other reason other than maiming that you should be angry at people. You are not maiming people. You should always be, always be maiming. I think that's a song, right? Every day I'm maiming. Every day I'm maiming. Yeah.
It's a good thing people our age are the ones who are mostly listening to this podcast, huh?
Fair enough. I
felt the cringe of 1,000 Gen Zers, and then they were suddenly silenced.
Right. It's funny, man. So my daughter, her way of sending me, she doesn't send me a Happy Father's Day card. No, she just made an Instagram post and put it on her story and on Instagram and tagged me in it. That's that's the new way of doing things. So.
Oh, I might have to do that. I just realized I didn't send my dad a card. Whoopsies.
You're gonna send your dad an Instagram post? I don't know if your boomer dad that lives in the sticks of Nevada is gonna have an Instagram to see, Aubrey, but good for you.
He's got a Facebook, unfortunately.
Oh,
happier things. Facebook. Happy Father's Day. Happy Mothers. If we're gonna be talking Dathomirians, it's really happy mothers, huh?
Yeah, that is true. We'll talk mothers on Father's Day. But yeah, no, I know that you had a chance to get out and play 1.5 games this past week. So you actually got some Shatterpoint in for a change.
Yeah, no, it's been a weird week. I feel really bad. My league opponent managed to have multiple life situations come up where we had to we rescheduled our game, and then we're gonna have to reschedule again, because I mean for real life stuff. I kind of feel bad, not that we have to redo our game, but because he got hit twice in 1 week, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, man. But instead, the purest of Christophers came out to get a game with me, but then by the time we got settled in and sorted and everything, we Sheev also wanted to get a game in, so we played most of our game, and then I switched to playing against him, and it was 2 Republic games. But I'll be honest, that first game with Chris, I have only had maybe 2 or 3 games where I truly feel like the dice completely and utterly determined the game. And that was one of them. I'm really glad it was just a for fun pick-me-up game, because I swear to you, Chris could not get more than 1 success on an attack the whole game, and he couldn't get more than 1 or 2 blocks on any defense literally every dice roll. It was there was a point where he just needed to do I think Cad Bane had to do 3 damage to a clone to take it down, and didn't. And we both just kind of looked down, looked at the dice, looked at the models, and we're like, I guess you don't flip this objective where all you had to do was do a few points of damage to a clone. Okay. Yeah. So I think he was perfectly fine with cutting that game off, because it was basically just turning. I don't think I've ever won a struggle 1 against Chris that easily in my life, or that quickly. It was bad. And then the game against Sheev, apparently my dice bubble continued. It wasn't as bad in our game, but I was still having like spectacular dice results, and then he was just having like average dice results the whole time. So I mean, I scored because we played on Sabotage Showdown both times. I was playing Republic. Any Obi, I was trying out the list that Liam gave me, which is Obi-Wan, Shakti, Arfs, and then just Anakin squad. Rex 501st. And like the same thing just kind of happened. Like I was winning very quickly the first struggle, and I was able to score 4 points, and then he just couldn't, like, really fast, and then he just couldn't get back. So and then like struggle 2, the flop was really good for him, but I basically, like, I mean, like, he scored all 4 points like almost immediately, and I was like, all right, I'm just calling that one. But then I steamrolled him again on the third struggle, and I'm like, oh, okay, I mean, that's and if I'm forgetting details, guys, sorry. I've had a lot going on in the past couple of days, so even though that only happened on Friday, I'm already like, I don't remember all of the details of those games. And then I was going to play a third game, but we decided to let Sheev sub in against Bob instead, because I had already gotten 2 games in, and Sheev, like, he's got a itty bitty at home and barely gets any game time in, and he was gonna like leave and go to a different LGS to try and see if anybody was there, and I was like, man, I already got 2 games in, like, just you play, you come and play.
Yeah, no, I mean it worked out well. I mean, you were able to get some games in. I was there as well to play my league game. I wanted to try Asajj and Mom together. My list was Asajj with Obi-2, Bounty Hunters, and then Mom with Crosshair and and the Night Sisters. And the list is just too force intensive. It just, there was times where it's like, man, if I had the force to sit there and do manipulating hands, that'd be amazing right now. Or, it's like, if I had the force to sit there and like Dathomirian dexterity into force push, that would be amazing right now. But it's just like the amount of force that the list is needing, because you really want at least, to find the shot with Crosshair so that he can sit there and do his 10 dice attack. I had Obi in the center of the board, but like there was times where it's like, even though it's only one force to sit there and disarm somebody, it still wasn't all that great type of, like, it's like there's times where it's like, I just can't use it because I have all these other force needs and stuff like that. So it was interesting. The list, I definitely, I think the lack of having a good force economy really hurt quite a bit, because there was times where just like I wasn't making the ideal plays because of not wanting to utilize all of my force on one activation. My dice were a little below average. I was probably, on a 5 dice roll, I was rolling like 5 fails or 3 fails. There was like 3-4 fails. So I was rolling a little statistically below, I felt like, for a large portion of the game. But I wasn't able to utilize the kits to the fullest extent. There was a lot of times where it was just like, just not able to sit there. Like when you needed an activation to kind of turn the tides a little, it just wasn't turning the tides, because it's like I just didn't have the force available to do it. So I think that's part of it. Is if I'm gonna go with like an Asajj Mom, I probably need to find other units that aren't going to be needing so much force to sit there and do the things that they do, where that's where you might want to look at someone like Savage or something like that to sit there and really kind of do the things that Savage can do.
I mean, I hate to say it, but Dizzard already jumped into the Discord and was saying you need Savage, because usually Savage doesn't. I mean, you rarely use his. I can't remember what the name of the ability is, but the
his furious or Dark Fury.
Dark Fury, that's right. Yeah, you just roll the dice to kind of do Plink Plink. Yeah, no,
Mhm.
you don't usually use his ability, and he has his he moves when a Dathomirian moves. So the only problem with Savage, I mean, as everyone pretty much knows at this point, is he only really does one thing, and he's really order deck dependent because you really want one of your primaries to go before him, but you really don't want primaries to go that early. It's kind of a dance with him. I
It is a weird balancing act, yeah.
I wonder why we didn't get any touches on Savage, because it really does feel like he's missing, like, I don't know, a shove, or if you're not going to give him a shove, give him like a little bit more damage, because he feels like he's supposed to go out and hit like a truck, but he's a secondary and he doesn't really hit like a truck. He hits more like a small sedan.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a little light on it and everything like that. So it's frustrating, like trying to find that balance that you're looking for there. And I think it kind of shows there too. Though I was like looking at like some of the data. I mean, looking at just like going back to like since the balance pass that we've had, looking at like Asaj's numbers, she's only like a 35% win rate with like 982 games. Um, she's just not her best pairing that's probably over 10 games that they're showing on Longshanks anyway, is with Mom, and she's still only at, I think, is at 40% with Mom, so just like everything else that she's got a 50% or more win rate is only like a very small sample size, like between 2 and 7 games. So like she's just, it's not there right now. I mean, she's 39% with Dooku. But I think that's just Separatists are not where Separatists used to be. She's 35% with Grievous. I mean, like I think that's more of a reflection on where Separatists are right now compared to where she is. But I think we still haven't found the right home for her. I think she almost needs a secondary that has an extra force, or something along those lines to sit there and help unlock her kit a little more.
Ooh. Does this mean Shakti needs to go play for the Separatists? We got to do like a Cad. No, not a Cad Bane, because we need more force. Like, you could do Asajj, Shakti, B1s, and then like Dooku box. I don't know. Or I mean, you could go. I guess if you're doing Asajj, you could go more Killy and put do a Grievous list on the other side. That would give you seven
But it still
force,
doesn't.
right?
But it still doesn't do anything. Like the Grievous list is like, that's. I don't know. Maybe the Cad Bane. You might be onto something with Cad Bane there. Just because if you're gonna go Killy, he does, have force refresh. So
Well,
that might be.
that's true. I was trying to
So
make
that.
a list with more force for you, but that could also do it. And and Shakti does move cat. Okay, all right. You could do like some kind of Cad Bane Shakti bounty hunters. That's what was that what Sheev was playing, or was that what Chris was playing? I think it was what Chris was playing. I don't know. It was one of my two games that they had that list, and that would seem pretty interesting. And then, yeah, it was Chris. And then the other list could be Asajj something. I don't. I don't.
You
I
could go
don't
all
know.
nights. You could go like an all Dathomirian piece with like Asajj, Savage, and then like Night Sisters. I mean, then that way you could get that Night Sister Dathomirian synergy with the expose that the Night Sisters give, potentially. I mean, and then you're still not too force intensive on that side, baby. I don't know. It's weird, man. I mean, like I said, like the biggest problem I think like Dathomirians just are not doing that great post update. I mean, looking even at like Mom, like if we go back to her data just over the last month, on Longshanks, she's still not doing that great. She's at a 46% win rate with her. I mean, she's still does well with Dooku. She's got a 55% win rate with 202 games with Dooku. So she's still okay there. But, like looking at her and Maul right now, there's over 500 games and they're only 43%. And like she's 40% with Mom at 179 games. It's just like she's just like the Dathomirian stuff just isn't there.
Well, that brings me to a question I wanted to discuss a little bit. What is going on with our friend Maul? Because he continues to be on paper, in my mind, exactly what you want in a primary. He's force efficient. He's got diceless displacement. He's got a great combat tree. He he has a ranged attack. He's not melee only. He can chuck his lightsaber and make it all boomerangy. So what is going on with our buddy Maul? Like I know he's mostly played with Mandos, not with Dathomirians. So I'm kind of moving the goalpost of our conversation a bit. But like he seems like he should be good. Todd, what happened to my boy?
I don't know. It might just be kind of like where the shifted the meta away from like Dathomirians being something. I mean, Mother Maul had what was one of the best lists at one point in time. I think people have just kind of moved away from it. But yeah, I mean, you looking at again like the last month since the update took place. With Armor, he's at 57% win rate with 308 games, and then with Mando, he's at 55% win rate at 454 games. So I mean, a lot of data showing that he's doing great there. I mean, you put him with Mom, and again, this is all Longshanks data, but there's over 500 games on with him and Mom, and it's at 43%. I think it's just the game has gone past where they are. We're like the Mother Maul list and everything along those lines. I think Maul is still good. It's just that he has a better pairing with Mandos because you put him with Gar, his quote unquote box of Gar and the Super Super Mandos, and it's killing it right now because you still get all those Mando synergies, and you have that that force economy that you get with him not just being able to punch himself in the face.
Yeah, all right, yeah. So that makes me feel a little bit better. So playing him with Mandos is working. It's just his numbers are dropped down whenever you put him anywhere else. Huh.
Which isn't that great, is I think the biggest problem. I mean, it's like I said, I really want Asajj to work. I think she's really good. She just isn't doing what we want her to do right now, which is just odd to me.
Yeah, I was also talking to Chris about this because I had talked about in our Discord because I'm just trying different versions of Mandos because I haven't decided exactly what I like because I tried the new Ahsoka and she really just felt like a force battery. She wasn't really going and killing things. Like giving the Mandos one extra force was really nice. I now had all the force I needed for everything. Hooray! Mando's great, but he can be kind of force intensive if you have to use his like clan of two all the time, and you usually want to use his clan of two all the time, and then you run out of force in other places. I've tried Maul, but it felt like I wasn't getting enough out of Maul, but maybe that's more reps as needed. Because I had put Maul down for a long time, so maybe I need to dust the rust off, just like with coordinated fire. Oh my God, coordinated fire! I will remember you. And then, the other one I was gonna try was Asajj, but Chris and I were talking about it, and now I'm like, I don't know, like, because my biggest concern is that she's really force intensive, and Mandos are already really force intensive, especially in like your first order deck flips. You pretty much want to jetpack with everybody. You gotta move people around. If you don't get your secondaries early, and you're forced to use a jetpack on everyone because of how the order deck is, like you can run out of force so quickly. And Asajj is like, give me all the force and I might give it back to you, fingers crossed.
Yeah, he's a little rough there with that. I mean, where it's really trying to find that balancing act. I think that's the biggest thing that we're always trying to find. The balancing act is like that force economy with wherever you're going to go with it. Mando's, and I think that's really why Ball is starting to shine with Mando's because especially with armor, because if all of the Mandos get wounded, you're not having to pay that extra wound tax for your um, for the force, and then he is a primary that doesn't have to use your force. I mean, so it allows for all of that additional force to be used, like where if like you were talking about with your problem with if you have to use it on a secondary early or if you have to use it early with the other ones, like you're not having to worry about, man, I'm not able to do my primary thing, which is really the biggest issue I was running into with Asajj was like, okay, I pull her the second to last card and I have one force left because of everything else that I was doing. So I think that's like the biggest thing, like where he's still good. I don't know, maybe you really kind of want that mom trigger, but I don't know, maybe looking at Maul and Asajj, but like right now that's even I think that pairing is like bottom of the barrel. Yeah, 158 games right now with that. And they're at 24% win rate.
Whoa! Oh! Ow! Oh! Oh! But see, okay, all right. And again, I know I am, a highly competitive player with so many games under my belt. So it must be shocking that I don't understand this. But even there, it feels like, okay, so apparently Maul's ability to make your list way more force efficient does not overcome the failings of Asajj. She can't do it. It feels like she's gotten such a good boost with her new version.
You think so? You would think so. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I kind of want to try a Maul and Asajj list, like with like maybe like Maul, Savage, Night Sisters, and then like Asajj Crosshair Bounty Hunters might be kind of interesting. But I still think it's I still think you're I don't know because let's see. I mean you can get away with not having anything for Saj for Savage I should say. Um, Maybe using one force with him. Maybe probably one with the Night Sisters for their jump to really get them far enough forward for their expose. Crosshair really wants one. Sometimes it's nice to have one on the bounty hunters because to do their tools of the trade. So I mean that now at that point in time, there's only what two force left for Asajj. So that gives you a double. Like you could jump twice or potentially do her thing. Her force push. I don't know. It's a weird one.
Yeah, yeah, man. This is not as happy of a conversation as I thought it was going to be, Todd. I'm sitting here going, oh, well, okay. So maybe is the answer just like with Maul? Maul does better with Mandos. Are we just overlooking that Asajj needs to be somewhere else? Like, does she just need to go help the Republic assassinate Count Dooku? Like, do we need to start putting her with Shak T and Anakin or someone to like just give her all the Force? But then you have this character that isn't a Galactic Republic primary, and we have so many good Galactic Republic primaries, like Darth Vader.
Then you're just downside. You're making your list worse just to sit there and play Asajj. It's like you're not playing an optimized list at that point in time just to sit there and try and find a home for her, which just doesn't like. It's like why? Why are you
Right,
going to do that to yourself?
right, because we're essentially contorting a list in order to try and get her to be good. But the biggest problem is just like, okay, all right, this might be crazy. Would it completely and utterly break the game if her jump, like, I don't know, if just her jump had like the armor effect where it like didn't go up in price, Like I like now I'm just trying to fix now I'm playing with her card. I'm tinkering now, and I don't know. This is just so sad. I want Dathomirians to be good. What we gotta wait for Morgan Elspeth to save us.
Potentially, I mean, and that might be the home. Like that might be the thing that we need, depending on what Morgan brings to the table. Is like maybe it is something as simple as needing her to sit there and do that. Because I know that, like, people were playing around with like the Asajj with oh gosh, what's her name? I'm drawing a blank. The Aura Singh. I mean, but Aura Singh, you really want to use force with her too. I mean, her hit and run's really good, so you really kind of wanted to utilize, and she's double the contract, double the payout. So there's things there where you're still like, you don't really, you're still running into the force problem and everything like that.
Well, and then unless you're bringing Cad Bane, then you're also contorting your list to make room for Aura because of the 5-point cost. So then you're bringing something like B1s, or I don't even want to. I don't know what you're bringing there, but that's tough.
Well, the only thing you could do is bring the Magna Guards there, because the Magna Guards can still have that bodyguard following Savage everywhere. So, but their downgrade that they've had doesn't help.
Yeah, no, it used to be that you could pretty much count on them to do their thing, and I mean, it's funny because we used to think of the Magna Guards as this menace under Darth Vader and Grievous, and oh, this is so terrible, and now we're like, I don't know that they needed to be downgraded, actually. Because now you almost don't want to play them because they don't have a ranged attack. I mean, hey, what I will say, AMG, they do now feel like a 3-point model. You did the job. Except now, like, say the 501st, they feel like almost a 3.5 model with that crit that they get right away. Like, they're way more consistent. Not that I'm complaining. Don't touch them, AMG. I want the 501st to be good. But I don't know. It's just I still haven't figured out the break off between a 3-point, a 4-point, and a 5-point. I think they might still be figuring that out too, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I don't know if there's. It's different, like especially like when you come from like the MCP side of things, because on the MCP side, the point cost really did impact how good a character is. Like your 5-threat models there versus like your 2-3 or 3-threat models, there is a significant difference in power where we haven't really seen that same relation here. And like I said, it's I think the designers are kind of like still kind of figuring out where they want to go with all of that. So it's something as simple as that. But yeah, I don't know. Well, you got something.
I know. I'm just thinking. So, and again, I know we've had multiple interviews with the AMG designers, and not just us, other people. There's lots of interviews out there. But remind me, I don't think they've really said this, but do you think that the relationship between the squad points is more about the overall squad, and we're just misunderstanding it? Like, because this game is designed so much that you can just throw whatever you want with whatever you want. But at the end of the day, a lot of times primaries that are very powerful are impacted by being only 7 points, and then only certain models can go with them because of the point value. And so maybe it's really just to try and restrict those more powerful primaries by giving them these. Does that make sense?
It does. I think what the point cost that they come with is more. What they're looking at probably more is the list building aspect of it more than the power aspect of it. I think that's the vibe that I get, is like, how can we utilize these two, for your list building purposes, not necessarily for the like, oh, a 3 has to fit into this power level, and a 4 has to fit into this power level, and so on. I think they do kind of realize that the 5s probably need to be a little bit stronger because it is dictating like what you're able to do in list building. So those seem to be a little more powerful, as we've seen throughout the time. But yeah, I think that's the goal here. I think for them at least has been making list building interesting, and I think they're definitely accomplishing that piece of it.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Because I know everybody gets different things out of these games. Like, again, I really like tables and terrain. I really like putting together tables. I like the puzzle of like, well, I'm gonna put this here and that there and all of that. I know other people who are like, I never want to set up a table again in my life. Will you please do it for me? That's how much I don't want to do it. And then like for other people, list building is very, very important to them. And I get it from a Magic background. Throwing together a bunch of cards and going, what's gonna fit here? I need a 2-drop, I need a 3-drop. What am I fitting in my slots? That was always a fun puzzle in Magic. And so, well, at least for some of us, the rest of us just went online and grabbed a list and went, I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, net decking
Yeah.
is a thing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it for sure. I mean, that exists in this game too. I mean, you can go right onto Longshakes and go under like the tools and resources, and you can see like lists that have been getting played. So I don't think net decking is wrong, like some people might.
Oh no. I wasn't speaking against it. I was referring to myself. I did not engage in creative deck building. I would just be like, what blue-white controlled list do I want to try today? Let's look at Magic Top 8 and see what's been doing well lately. Oh, I'm going to try
Exactly.
this. Done. Yeah, no, that was me doing that. But
Oh yeah.
and like my Republic list, I'm like, Liam, you play Republic more than I do. What should I play? I don't know. Uh, Although I think I want to try again. Or not again. I haven't assembled him yet. He's still on his sprues. Um, Even though I really like Shakti and Shakti's probably the correct choice, I do want to try Obi-Wan with Nadar because Liam was it Liam or Jake? Maybe it was both of them. I don't know. Somebody was singing Nadar's praises with Obi-Wan in the Discord again, and I know we had talked about that. So um, I might try our fishy friend after all.
I mean, it's like I said, list building's fun. Have fun with it. Enjoy it. So, all right, I know you kind of wanted to talk about like take a look at potentially list building for Asajj, maybe. Um, looking at the ones that have a win percentage over 50%. Granted, the sample size is extremely small.
All right, 1 month.
Ga-
We're looking at 1 month of data here. Like,
yeah, 1 month of data. The two that seem to be undefeated, there's 3 games with Hondo and 1 game with Clone Sergeant Hunter. And then 4 games with Mando is a 75% win rate. 7 games with Armor is a 71% win rate. So it looks like, again, putting a Dathomirian with Mandalorians seems to be the way to go. Regardless of which, I think it's just that's just a thing where Mandos are just good right now.
I mean, the West Valley is this is the way valley. I get
Right.
that. I get that. I mean, me included. I've been playing Mandos. Well, I mean it. I guess the test is that if you're gonna play Asajj and if you're gonna do well with her, maybe it's not as much the list. It's recognizing that you really cannot use most of her kit because all of the time. I mean, like maybe you have to just accept that you should only jump with her one. Like, I mean, most units get their move action and a jump or a dash equivalent, and maybe it's just a matter of we need to unlock a very clear understanding, which would require a lot of practice, and maybe people who just don't, well, myself included, don't have the time to put in that practice to figure out exactly when it's okay to do things with her. Because I don't know. Even when I was playing with Fulcrum Ahsoka, like there were a lot of times where I didn't want to use her to force double tap ability because like I knew I was gonna run out of force, and so maybe it's more of a her kit is rip in case of emergency, but most of the time pretend like it doesn't exist. But then that feels like, I don't know, it feels like you're still restricting yourself when other lists could just do what they want. Looking at you, Anakin.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's interesting I mean, it's of where you go with it. I mean, I do like Hunter and Bad Batch, so there's something in kind of intriguing to me with that, where if like you take like Hunter with Wrecker and Tekko, and then maybe you can put Crosshair under her, so you're going full batch with Asajj, and then throw a random, like ARFs aren't there anymore, but maybe like Wolfpack or even 212th or something like that, or the Republic Commandos in there, just to like see what that looks like. I know lore wise you're cringing. I can see it.
No, oh no! Think about it. I mean, Asajj does show up in which season? She shows up because we were all freaking out because we thought Omega was gonna end up being force sensitive in the show. So no, actually, that makes way more sense than putting Darth Vader with the Republic. But no, my problem is just like, again, and I mean we kind of talked around this before, but you're essentially shoehorning in a separatist Dathomirian primary into Republic, and right now Republic is having a heyday where, like, why wouldn't you just play Obi-Wan there?
Yeah.
Like Bad Batch Obi-Wan done. I made you like I mean that was good before the update. Like or put well, if you put Anakin there, okay, it changes the list building. Whatever. But you get my point. We have so many options. Like you could use Kid Fisto. You could use what else? I'm trying to think of what would be another good option. But like there's a bunch of stuff that would just work there and probably not force you to contort yourself to make the list work still. Todd, this conversation's making me sad. No, we just got to delete this episode. No, we're not gonna do this. No, done.
No,
Don't press send.
But that's kind of where we're at with this. Is like it's like Asajj, and I think like I've been starting to write like little tiny articles that are free on the Patreon about each character. I think I started with Anakin, and there's a couple more that are probably going to go up with like Rex and the 501st, and then Asajj is like the next one I'm working on because the grand editor that I have, I think might have looked at the other two articles that just to make sure
I
they're
forgot
good.
to tell you. Yeah, they're done. I edited them.
So those two will probably
spoilers.
be going up.
I let the college kid also take a pass at them to make sure I don't miss anything. So
Fair enough. So
editors.
like the Asajj one, editors. Okay, so I have an entire editorial staff, I guess now. But
and they're ready to go up. Look for them on the
nice.
Patreon whenever
There you go.
Todd does it, since somebody told him that they're ready now in real time.
Fantastic.
I knew I was forgetting something.
That's fine. We got there eventually. But yeah, the thing with Asajj, like even like as I was writing that article up, it was one of those where she just doesn't have a home right now. And like we were saying, I mean, maybe it is Elspeth coming in and doing something there, or maybe it's just we got to start putting the reps in again, because like I will admit I probably missed at least one mom trigger playing with mom again. So it was like one of those where it's like I don't think I played. No, there's no think about it. I did not play my best mom game like in that game, because it's just I haven't picked her up in years, or not. Well, like 6 months at least, maybe a year.
Yeah, I was like, the game's only been out 2 years, Todd. It can't be.
But
I haven't used it in years.
But it's probably been a year, like 9 months at least, that I haven't played mom. So yeah, I can see that, because like I've been on a big Bad Batch kick for like a long time. So Yeah, it's probably been like, so that's one of those where it's like, yeah, I probably missed some triggers that I just haven't usually been used to missing or having to pay attention to. So there might be some of that where it's like, oh, people are picking up Asajj and putting her with mom for the first time and are not playing the kit to the fullest extent. So I think I probably just need to maybe just run the list back again, and with maybe tweaking. I think I'm going to take out. So Dizzard definitely thinks that I need to take out Crosshair, but it's like, God, Crosshair does so much work for me. I like there was at least one activation he had where he wounded two people because I had somebody alive on one, so he plinks them for one, and then he goes and basically does his thing where he's able to move onto a point and then just shoots do a 7 dice attack type of a thing. I mean, and he can move all over the place if he can get his, like, sometimes he gets a repo on his thing. So it's like he's a very versatile unit in the game. So I'm so hesitant to not utilize him, especially because like it's really just one force investment with him in most cases, because the only thing you really need to do with him is find the shot. Everything else is, there's nothing else. He's got a reactive ability that you don't use that often. It's really just his find the shot and his trick shots and active ability.
Yeah. It sounds like somebody needs to maybe try out this Bad Batch plus Asajj list. That seems like something to
Maybe
try.
It's possible. I think it might. There might be something there. Like you said. I mean, it's trying to find the best place for Asajj. God, it's so hard. It might still be mom. I like once you start getting more data, because like I said, the data on Longshanks is pretty limited over the last month. I mean, let's see, if you go back, let's say we just go back to the beginning of the year, just to kind of see what that looks like, and it's probably still just as bad. To be fair, yeah, she's still at a 38% win rate. Yeah, still the best is with Hunter, but like still not a lot of data.
Yeah, people weren't playing Asajj.
No, 69 games with Vader, and it's Vader 1. It had a 50% win rate. 50% win rate there. I mean, so I don't know. It just doesn't seem like there's just anything really doing well right now with her, and it's I don't know. And I don't think anyone's really in the mood to like really put her on the table outside of maybe a couple of people. Right now, the biggest thing that people want to do is play play Republic, because they're really good right now.
Yeah, and that reminds me. Going back to your conversation about remembering stuff and putting reps in. Oh yeah, one of the things that came up, which is something you would know to do with Obi-Wan if you'd been playing him recently, but I had a moment where I could have blocked Chris using like my hunker dash, because like I took the hunker off just to like heal a condition or something, and I was like, oh well, I don't really need the dash because like I'm on the objective. But then he was able to move because it was a long gantry and there was a ladder basically on either end. And so I didn't think about the fact that if I moved to block one of the ladders, I could keep him from flipping the point, which is something that's like a thing with the Obi-Wan hunkers. Like you can do a lot of non-standard stuff. And Chris was like, yeah, I was because he chose not to push me off the point. And I was like, huh, that's weird. And then he was like, yeah, I didn't want to remind you about the whole you could run up and take a ladder, and I figured if I didn't shove you off, you wouldn't think of it. And I was like, stop big braiding me, Chris. Like, what? I'm like, he like manipulated me into not using my hunker efficiently, and I'm like, what?
That's fantastic. That is so awesome. That is why he is the purest of Christophers.
Yeah, like
pure savage. That's what he is.
No, remember, he only bullies people online. It's only online. It's like my fiance's dad. He's extremely nice in person, but don't talk to him about politics on the internet because then he gets grumpy very, very quickly.
Yeah, those are fun people.
Not that I ever get grumpy, Todd. Never.
No, never, never. But yeah, no, it's like I said, the Savage thing or the Asajj thing is just she's just not there. It's she's got a good kit and she's on paper looks like she should do some fun and exciting things. She just like I said, it's just there's not a build right now that allows her to sit there and fully utilize her kit.
Yeah, I keep feeling like Jared's gonna pop out of the door next to me and be like, "This is why you should play Asajj." Like this whole episode, I'm like, I'm sorry, Jerry. I'm sorry. It's just it is what it is. I don't know what to do. The thing I will always say though, because I know we're kind of like doom and gloom, Dathomirians are bad. We are primarily thinking of like competitive play because we're about to get into GT season. Like we have we have our end of league premiere event coming up. There's some more events that we're gonna try and get people to practice for leading up to Smite Club. Like this is entirely through the lens of competitive GT play, like not trying to bash Asajj or say never play her. Like I probably am still gonna try her with my Mando list, even though I suspect it's not going to go as well as I hope because I don't have the reps with her. Like basically what we're talking about is if you want Asajj to work, you got to play a lot of games, and for those of us who don't have the time for that, we probably just aren't going to put in that amount of effort for her. But if you're playing a casual game, you're playing a key operations, put Asajj on the table, have fun. Do you just if you're not having fun with her, that might be why.
Yeah, I think she's still good. I mean, like, and she's still a fun model to play. I had a blast playing her. I just like I said, if you're looking to competitive wise, she's not there. I think there's probably some fun stuff. I mean, like I said, there's some people that like potentially of like maybe pairing her with Hondo.
I got
Hondo
nothing on that one.
I mean,
like,
there's
what?
that there's Landos out there too. I mean, they're like I'm just thinking outside of the box, like finding different things. Like there might be a Hondo option, there might be a Lando thing to do. I do want to say I'm looking at this is completely going off the rails here because ACO is going on right now. They had 17 players at their GT. The world champ still has not lost a GT game yet. He is now in the finals of their top 4. He went 4-0 through the Swiss. And he's won his first round going into playing against Evan Ritt. That's must play faster. So, yeah, Evil Houdini is continuing his evil reign through the ACO and the GTs and just continuing to kill everybody he can. So I don't know if those people, anyone out there, I'm sure most people that listen to us also listen to Rogue Support. The trophy is still available if you're going to be going to I think it's Nova's the next one because they did create a trophy for the first person that beats Scott at a GT because he hasn't lost a single GT game. So yeah, he's still killing it right now.
He's got a bounty on him.
Yep. Yeah, they've actually made a Mandalorian bust trophy that's painted purple that says "Bring 'em in cold" on it, just for the first person that takes out Scott at a GT.
That's funny. I
think that's awesome.
Okay.
I think that's awesome. But yeah, so
great.
Yep. But yeah, his reign of terror continues as like from what we can tell here. But yeah, it's definitely, like I said, I think there's a lot of fun list building I think to do there. I think like lore wise, I really want to put her with Dathomirians, but I think I'm just gonna have to like sit there and maybe play around with something else, see if there's another pairing. Like I ultimately I think you just kind of have to have something that does some sort of force refresh, which she already does, which is the craziest thing. You know, like Asajj already has her own like force refresh if you wound, and it might be just, and that's probably part of why she's good with good with Vader, because that's a killy list, and then that's giving her that force refresh that she needs, because you're adding in that additional dice with her and everything like that. So I don't know. Maybe that's really kind of where we need to be with her.
It might just need to be like a Vader, some kind of Vader kill list and do that. But the thing is like a Vader kill list isn't really what's doing the best right now. Even with like Inquisitors, it's more of a control. It's more of a control list with Inquisitors. So you know what, dear listeners, here's your challenge. Tell us in the Discord or wherever else you like what you want to do with Asajj, because we are trying. We have spent 50 minutes of trying to make Asajj great again, and it's not. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if we quite got it.
And,
I don't know if we quite got it.
This is the only MAGA I'm here for. I'm just letting you know. That's the only MAGA I'm here for, is making Asajj great again.
Hey, it used to be make Anakin great again. Red Mando's had a whole meme about this, and then
he's great now. So now we need to make Asajj great again. So,
yeah, there you go.
So yeah,
there you go.
But definitely, it's
again, because they already made her good again. So we're taking Asajj to AA.
Yeah, yeah, we do, because she's making me want to drink. I'll tell you that.
Oh, poor Asajj.
Yeah.
Okay, we've reached the dad joke level of the
It is
the
Father's Day.
discussion.
It is Father's Day. Okay, since we're doing dad jokes on Father's Day, Aubrey, I think I might have already told you this one. What do you call an Ewok with no teeth?
You haven't
A
told
gummy
me this
bear.
one.
It's a gummy bear. Yeah. Yeah, you snorted before you sat there and groaned. You snorted before you groaned. It was a good one.
Fair. I'm sorry. I did not bring a corresponding a Star Wars joke for you, Todd. You just have to be the one who delights the listeners with your repertoire.
Hey, I'm a seasoned dad joker. It's just comes with the territory. I'm good at making my teenage daughter groan with my dad jokes. It just works. But yeah.
There you go.
All right. Well, on that note, I guess we can close it out here. Do you have anything else that you wanted to add before we say goodbye to our wonderful friends?
Nah, we're good. We did the thing. We did our best. This is
we did.
This was definitely content.
Yeah, maybe not the best, but hey, we had fun with it. But no, I do. Before we go, I do want to thank everybody, especially all of our patrons. We have a new patron with Nate. He came and joined us this week. So Nate, thank you very much for becoming a patron. That is definitely the best way to continue to support our podcast and everything that we do. We're going to be going to LVO, not just to run the event, but to stream. So that definitely helps us with being able to do those wonderful things like that. So if you want to continue to support us, you can definitely do so through the Patreon. If that's not right for you, we definitely will accept help by any type of rating, reviewing, and of liking and all that good stuff that you do with podcasts and YouTubes and stuff like that. So we definitely appreciate any type of support you guys give us. You can also just join the Discord and have conversations with us. Enjoy our meme section, because we got all sorts of fun memes going on in there. But other than that, again, thank you very much for all of you guys and listening and tuning in and hanging out with us and for the hour that we try to give you every week. But other than that, again, thanks again. And as always, long live the Empire, Aubrey.
May the Force be with you.